Welcome to the end of year podcast for the Co-Extrusion podcast. JJ and Jerry here. We're going to go through our superlatives for some of the categories of favorite printers from this year.
Ooh. Yeah, so we're going to talk about our favorite budget printers, our favorite mid-range printers, and our favorite high-end printers. So, and I think this will be a little bit interesting because I know for a fact, JJ, that you got some printers this year that I didn't get.
Yes.
I think maybe all the ones that I got, you probably did, but I know...
I know there's some that you got that I didn't get. So it's interesting we do have mismatched.
Actually, you know what? That is true. And it's, I think, the budget category. And, you say that. It's the one that I have listed right here if I just read my notes. I know you didn't get it. So, interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess we're probably going to start at high end, right? And go down.
Yeah, let's start off with the most expensive, kind of the highest consumer range printer that you would normally buy if money was no option. Jerry, what would be? You want to go with your pick first?
Okay, yeah. So I guess I should caveat this with saying, for some reason this year, I did. I probably was printing every week, but I did less than normal. So I didn't branch out and touch every different high-end printer. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to say the one that I use the most isn't a printer from this year. It's not even one from last year. I still use the X1 Carbon as a high-end budget printer more than any other machine.
Yeah.
But I don't want to cheat too much. So if I had to pick one from this year, I would say the Prusa Core 1.
Ooh, yeah.
So if I'm pretty sure that was this year. Everything gets foggy.
Yes.
But the Core 1, it really is just an incredible machine. I didn't use it as much as I want to, only because I put it in a room that I don't go in very often, because I have printers in multiple rooms. But everything. So I got a kit, and everything from the build process to print quality, ease of use. I mean, the screen on it, the input, everything is, I don't know. It's just a really, really good machine. And the quality stacks up to, the quality is, I say stacks up. It's like beyond printers of like the Creality K series that I've been using for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So,
and I guess the Core 1L, if that was out, you could put that as your even more expensive version.
Yeah. So I think are you looking up now? I think the Core 1L, there's the only upgrade maybe is just the size. Right?
Yeah.
I think everything else is the same.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I didn't print with it as much as I wanted, but when I loaded up Prusa Slicer, there are, sorry, let me take a step back. I think I got that wrong. I did print materials on it that I've never printed on other machines. For instance, like PCTG. So, one reason I think why the Core 1 kind of stands out to me is because it's that kind of flagship, like, open source brand, if you will, unlike Bamboo. So, brands that are making these specialized filaments, they go to these flagship model machines and they make profiles for those filaments, and they release profiles. So the Core 1 was one of the machines that had a custom profile for that material. And from an engineering standpoint, like if you're from a maker standpoint, whatever, if you're printing materials that are different, like, I don't want to go back to 6 or 7 years ago where I have to tweak a profile for like 5 hours just to get it like kind of
usable.
functional.
Yeah.
I know. Especially when I'm gonna look this up right now. So PCTG, it's what I had was 3D Fuel brand. Shout out to 3D Fuel, by the way. They're an incredible brand. So 3D Fuel, their Pro PCTG is, let's see, it's 30. Right now it's $30, and so I mean it's not like super expensive comparatively, but definitely you can get other filaments in the $15, $16 range now. So
Mhm.
double the price. I don't want to be tinkering with it, wasting material. I
For
just want to load
sure.
it up and
Yeah.
go. So, anyway, that was like super wordy to, but that along with, all the baked in profiles, Prusa's
Yeah.
software is really good. It's Prusa software is probably some of the best right now. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
it was a very, very good experience with that
Mhm.
machine.
Nice. Yeah.
So what
So
about you?
for my high end printer that I've actually used this year would have to be the H2D, just because it's so easy to use, and like all the things you said of it's got all the easy print profile. It's the easy Bamboo Lab experience, and all the like little upgrades with it turned into a very nice printer. Is it worth the high price point? That's another good question. Um, of it
What
being
is
like just over $2,000, whatever it is, like it's
Yeah, I'm looking
very
right now.
expensive.
So I think it's $1,800, but that is just a
Okay,
printer,
just a
right?
base printer,
The
yeah,
base printer, so that doesn't come with,
which you
or sorry,
kind
sorry.
of
Oh, what was, I don't
need
know.
the
Sorry,
combo.
2,000. Oh, that says 2,000 with the combo,
Okay, yeah,
1,700 without the combo, or whatever I just said without the, yeah, 1,750 without the combo. That
yeah.
is, and that's more expensive than the Core One. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
you're getting a little more, right?
You're
Because
getting a
with
bit
this,
more. The two nozzles is so nice to be able to print two color objects very quickly and with no waste. So that's really nice.
so how often did you use two color printing beyond what you would normally choose to do, just because it's available to you?
A fair amount, I would say. Like I would just remember right before I start a print to be like, oh yeah, I'm using this printer. Like let's slap a different color on there somewhere. Like, I don't know, coloring something in some way just to make it, just because I can, kind
Just
of.
because you could, though, not
Yeah.
not because you wanted to, but because you could.
Yeah. Just because, oh, I can. So let's make this a two color part. Um, and
Yeah,
then printing it out.
normally you would just print it whatever in one color, but
Mhm.
because adding an additional one doesn't add waste or time, like, why not?
Yeah. Kind of why not? Of like, oh, if this is a 5 hour print, it'll be 5.5 or 6 or something. Like it's a small percentage increase.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a sure, let's, you know, slap another color on there. And I haven't even used the laser. They didn't send me the laser accessories or anything to that. Um, or the whole high temperature. There's just so many accessories that came with it that even without those, I still think it's just an incredible, easy to use printer that's very expensive.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I do have a question. This is kind of a really dumb question because this is something that randomly has interested me about that machine. The glass panel on the side. Does that actually help you when you do use it to
The
look at
window
what's happening?
on the side, I
Yeah.
actually really do, because of where it's in the other room behind me. And so from where it's sitting, I can just poke my head around the corner and see the print through the side window.
Yep. Yeah.
So if it was reoriented in the room, it could be up against a wall and it'd be worthless. But how it is right now, it's actually like, oh, that's actually really useful.
Yeah, and I say that's a really odd curiosity of mine, but I mean, for the exact reason you just said, I feel like being able to see your print from any angle is,
Mhm.
I mean, it's beneficial, right? We're in a world
Yeah.
where printing doesn't really fail very often, but sometimes you want to see if the machine is still going, and or how much,
Mhm.
how far until it's done, right? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. Um, that's one good thing about bed slingers; they're not enclosed. You can
Yeah.
just see it from anywhere.
And I think as a YouTuber, another thing of Core XY is really easy to film as a YouTuber. And the lights they used inside the H2D is the best printer I've ever used. Of like, it has two huge light bars in there. So the
Mm,
parts are fully lit. Like everything I film inside of that printer printing looks perfectly lit
okay.
versus every other printer looks pretty bad. Like there'll be one
Yeah, yeah.
small light bar kind of lit, and then I can
Okay.
add my own lights in there. But that's one about that printer. Every time I film something, it's like It's so good.
The thing with Bambu that gets me, and it's not. I mean, like I said, my X1 Carbon was still my cheat, if you will, first pick for best budget, which wild to me that is like 3 years old and it was still up there. But Bambu interests me in that their products are so seriously good, but there's something about Bambu that they're almost too refined. And I come from a 3D printing era where, like, I want refined. I am a person that in my life I want things to be refined, but 3D printing feels weird when it's refined. Like,
yeah.
I don't want my prints to fail, and like deep down I do want it refined, and I want it to be like Bambu. But at the same time, like, it's just this like clash. So,
yeah.
I mean, those glass panels, they just they look so good and modern, and the aluminum housing and everything just,
and all the smarts there is to it, it's just so flawless.
Like, flawless, perfect. I don't know what the word is. Those are all I mean, they mean the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just a weird curiosity to me.
Yeah.
Or a weird feeling, whatever that is.
Yes, yeah. I think the only downside I could have to these printers is the price and the lack of customization to it. That you kind of have to go outside of the box to make it look like your own printer, versus so many others are like, oh, you kind of really need these accessories. This one is like, well, you kind of need a poop chute behind it, but that's about it. But people have printed all these other things of like attachments onto it to make it look like your own printer. And so you kind of have to go outside of the box to make it look like different than a factory default.
Yeah, and actually I think that's one thing about the Core 1 that I think is different, in that it's still a machine that you have lots of upgrades for if you want them. Mine completely stock because I'm doing 110 things. I don't have time to upgrade it. But I mean, you can get lids for it. You can change the spool holder, how it works. I mean, there's a lot, right? It's the whole printer is printed, right?
So you could reprint some of those parts in a different color.
That too, customization.
If you just want purely for the customization level of it.
Exactly. And that's one completely like flipped on its head thing from Bambu that you get with the Core 1. So
yeah,
it's interesting. You got two different completely different polar opposite printers.
Yeah,
but they're both like pinnacle of modern printing.
Yeah,
this is interesting. The different routes that we're taking.
Yeah. So next, should we move on to mid tier?
I was just about to ask you. I was gonna say, what is your, actually first define how or give me your definition of mid range, and then tell me what you picked.
Yes. So I was thinking mid range being under $1,000. From 500 to 1,000 was kind of what I was thinking being mid range, of like under 500 is a budget and over 1,000 is definitely high end. Because now printers just keep going up in price. In the past, 500 to 1,000 was high end, but for this year, I think I'm going to define it as mid. How do you think about that price range?
Yeah, I definitely think 500 should be the minimum. I think 1,000's probably a little too high, but when you get to the $750, between $750 and 1,000, there really aren't very many options. So like, I mean, we'll come, like, let's do a 500 to 1,000 just for the sake of it. But there's a lot of good printers that you can get right now between $500 and like $600,
and with
between $500 and $600. Really,
the discounts on everything, printers I feel like go on sale so often. That was another thing of like, well, what price to go off of, because things, what prices do printers even fall into? Yeah,
if you're gonna buy a printer today, how about you just wait another day, because tomorrow there's probably going to be like a December 29th or the December 30th sale. And then wait a second day, it's going to be New Year's sale.
It knocks it from mid-tier down to budget, and that ruins my whole category thing. So,
all right, 500 to 1,000.
Yeah, so I decided to go for the K2 Pro. on this one
Ooh.
as my kind of printer in that range that I have been using so much and have had zero problems with. Yeah, it's just been like a really reliable, and I kind of like that print size, like the 300 millimeter. It's really big. You can print massive things on there, but it's not too big because the ones that are larger than that just take forever to heat up, forever to cool down. And just I've done a ton of printing on that printer and no issues on there. So, yeah.
So is the K2 Pro essentially like just the like plus variant of the K1C? It's like it's 2025's K1C. Is that, or
Kind of, yeah. It's just like a small K2 Plus.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a mini K2 Plus, not a
Yes.
upgraded K1C.
Yes. Yeah. I would
Okay.
say that a mini K2 Plus. Yeah.
So it's got everything that the K2 Plus has. So it's got the chamber heater. Does it come with a? Can you purchase it with a combo? Does it have a
Yeah.
poop
So it's
chute in
got
the
a
back?
normal. It's 800 for just the printer, and it's right at 1,000 for the combo currently. And
Yeah. So I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't that I didn't get into, all of these printers as much, because the K2 Pro is definitely one that I really wanted to try and I didn't get in the studio.
yeah.
Um and the K2 Plus is the K2 Plus is one of my it is towards the top of my most used printers,
Hmm.
because it's in the room that I'm in right now with my editing desk and everything. It's in this room, and so it's just convenient for me to
Hmm.
use it. It sits right there with my X1 Carbon, and so if like as a mini K2 Plus, like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be perfect or close
Yeah.
to it.
It's so nice. And I think I've had more issues with my K2 Plus, maybe because it was such an early model that they tweaked little things. Or the other issue I think is because it's so big,
Mm,
getting to things like when filming it's going to crack in the Bowden tubes somewhere, or at least it happens to me all the time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
like getting in there and trying to like fiddle with things is just really difficult because the printer's so big and so heavy. Reaching around and like pushing and pulling your filament through the tubes it just, I don't know, is a little frustrating sometimes with the big printer
yeah.
versus just no issues so far on the K2 Pro that I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense. Getting filament stuck in a Bowden tube is always like, it's one of the really frustrating things, because the reason it got stuck is most likely because that machine hasn't been used in like, 3, 4, 5 days a week,
Yeah.
and you go to use it, and that's the exact time that you find out that you can't use it, and then you have to either fight with it or go default to a different machine, which was
Hmm.
like not at your list. What, for whatever the reason is. So, like having a printer designed, and I'm assuming either the filament doesn't break in those Bowden tubes for one reason or another, or it's designed such that you can easily retrieve the broken filament out. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that's a huge plus, right? It's
Hmm.
one of those things where you don't know it's a problem until you design it. I never had issues with filament breaking in the Bowden tube until the AMS. And I don't
Yeah.
know, I mean, maybe other people did, but I didn't have the issues until then. And at, then it's like, oh, well, now manufacturers need to find a way to start making it easy to do like filament maintenance or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's just because it's such a long tube, and in some cases there's a bit too many bending one way and then bending the other way, and it's instead of a normal Bowden or reverse Bowden setup where it's like a short line between your spool and the print head on previous printers before AMSs and CFSs and whatever
yeah,
else they're calling them nowadays.
yeah. Um, yeah. Well, so for my mid range, I feel like I will give you my mid range for this year,
Yeah.
and it's actually it's interesting how I've chosen this one. So I'll tell you, it's the FL Sun S1 Pro, and Why I've chosen that, I don't know, because I didn't. I'll get into that in a minute because well, you know what? Yeah. So I didn't really use the machine very much, but I saw all the potential for it. It was
Hmm.
just so big and unwieldy. Um,
Yeah.
I know that you had issues with your S1 Pro in terms of dimensional accuracy. That's not
Yeah.
something that I had issues with. Um, the S1 Pro, it's probably the reason why I chose this one. Ultimately, it's one of the only printers within this category that I actually got this year that I could try.
Hmm.
That was new for 2025. That's
Yeah.
why that's kind of why I chose it. It won by default. But um so I did have issues when I was printing really small objects, like I mean,
Hmm.
like, tiny objects, because it printed so fast.
Yeah.
Um but one thing I liked about it that was unique is that it had a bunch of capacitors in there. So if you have power outages, the printer can stay alive and it can remember itself. It can home. It has enough power after your power goes out that it can home the printer. It can like finish printing that G code line that it's at, and it can actually dock safely. It
Yeah.
can remember all of its states. Uh, the screen on that thing was just monstrous. And
Hmm.
while I am still very frustrated with FL Sun and Cheaty are both like really. oh, I don't want to say they're failing in the user interface department, but they really need to hire a dedicated developer for it. But
Yeah.
it looked really nice, and something about it felt clunky, but it looked nice. It was very like I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I liked what they were going for, and if they had just like done a little bit of refinement, that could be really, really good. Um, and I really like that it had an integrated filament dryer in it. These are
Yeah.
things that like just because I didn't use the printer very much doesn't mean I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Having the integrated filament dryer built directly into the machine, while the machine can only hold one filament spool and it doesn't have capability for an AMS of any kind. Like that's something like when you buy a printer that was, I think it was somewhere in the $1,000 mark, or it is now. Um, it looks like it says
It's a
899 or something.
600
Six
S1
hundred to
Pro.
899. Um, when you spend, if you're spending money on a mid range printer, you probably you you have enough money to get a good machine, but you don't necessarily want to spend the 1,500 or 2,000, right?
Yeah.
So you buy the printer, and you don't want to then go buy a filament dryer and this and
Hmm.
that, and so like it's nice that it comes baked in. And yeah, so that's why I chose the S1 Pro. It
Yes.
was an interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting and I do, looking at it now at $600, I think it's a better printer than when I was reviewing it. It was like, I don't know, this is listed at $1,400 or $1,500, and already initially I was talking about it, there was a sale on it already. Like at launch, they
Yeah.
were like, it's down to $900, and it's like, well, it says MSRP is $1,400, so I'm going to review this as if it's a $1,400 printer, and it's a
Yeah.
disappointing $1,400 printer.
I very largely agree with you. Yes. I mean,
Yeah,
it is one of those machines that at 1,400, I'll say anywhere between probably 900 and $1,400,
yeah,
I don't recommend someone to purchase it.
uh-huh.
Unless you want a Delta machine because you're a quirky person, in which case I
Yeah,
highly recommend it because I love Delta machines. But
yeah,
that's
they're
besides the
so
point.
cool. But I'd
Um,
probably recommend buying the cheap T1 or something, and also buying a X1 Carbon or something. Like,
yeah, yeah, no, that's I absolutely agree. It's like it is not one of those printers. Like if anyone's listening, I don't think I would recommend someone to purchase it. I just respect the printer for what it
mhm.
is and for
Yes,
the
yeah,
features that you get on it that you don't get elsewhere.
yeah,
Because the other thing is the S1 Pro, it's one of the I don't want to say one of the first, but it's kind of one of the first printers in its category that also looks really good. Because like the X1 Carbon came out first as the first printer, in my opinion, that looked fully put together like a finished product. Then the K1, then the Creality K1 came out, and it looks like a
Yeah.
finished product. And after that, not very many brands really came out with a printer that, I mean, they still had like visual like like extrusion and things like that. And so FL Sun, I think they spent budget making it look good as well.
Yes, I agree with that for sure.
So like I said, these are all things that just make me respect it for the mid range category.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we should move on, unless you had anything else.
Yeah, no. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on to the budget picks this time. So I went first last time. Do you want to go first on?
Yeah, I can go first. So
budget.
This one is probably one that most people are not going to think about. So the Artillery M1 Pro.
Really?
So that printer, and I'm not actually sure what its total cost is. I just know I would put it in the budget category.
$350.
Looking at it right now, it's $350. So the M1 Pro, it's a Core 1 like X1 Carbon complete total like cop out.
Yeah.
The firmware on the M1 Pro was a little bit disappointing, but beyond that, like Artillery's firmware is always disappointing. They fall into the cheaty category as well. But goodness gracious, that printer, the print quality that came off of it did not feel like a $350 printer. It was well built, it was fast.
Yeah.
I don't remember how loud it was, and I was about to say it was quiet. I don't remember how loud it was. That thing just shocked me, and especially for the way that it looks, you could put that thing on your desk, and I mean, honestly, anyone that walked in and didn't know anything about 3D printing would think that that was a really expensive machine. If they saw what it printed, how generally easy it was to use. I know all printers are getting easy now, but like it was easy, and it came with a cool plate. It shipped with a cool plate, which that's the first printer that I received that comes from factory with a cool plate. So
does it have a multicolor thing that they're working on?
It is designed in order to support multicolor if and when it comes out, if Artillery doesn't go out of business. But that's a whole that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
But it is yeah. I mean, it shocked me in almost every single category possible. So
yeah, I think it looks a lot better in person than the pictures online. Like online, it looks kind of weird.
It looks papery. Like a toy, maybe.
The white sides, I think, look too, I don't know, not as good next to the silver. But in person, it looks really good. Like white and silver is a classic combo.
So
something about those pictures.
I agree. And I don't know. This printer just completely and totally shocked me. I'm very happy that I got to play with this because I didn't see very much content about this thing, and most people probably would have no idea what it is.
Yeah, and I love bringing up the smaller printers that people don't hear about because in some markets, or for some reason that someone doesn't want a Bambu printer or can't get a Bambu printer there's a lot of reasons out there, and so. Yeah, maybe the Artillery M1 Pro could be a good option.
Yeah. I think about markets all the time in that, like, you know, usually the Creality and Bambu will be in most markets of the world, but like there's a chance Elegoo might not, or some of these other ones might not. And if they have a printer that you planned on buying, well, maybe Artillery's in your market. Artillery's probably going to be on AliExpress or, you know, wherever, and you might be able to have access to that machine rather than something else.
Yes.
And, you know, I said I wouldn't recommend the FL Sun S1 Pro, even though it was my choice. The M1 Pro, if you want a quirky, like really high quality machine in the budget category, I would not tell someone not to purchase it. Right? I think there might be better options depending on, you know, this or that, but overall, it was actually a good machine.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Yeah. So my budget printer. wasn't certain of the rules of if it had to really come out this year, because the A1 Mini is my just go-to cheap printer and the one I recommend the most, and I keep going back to it. And so it didn't come out this year, but it's still one I actively recommend for people to buy, and so that's what makes me keep going back to it. I printed a bunch of the Cyberbrick parts out on this printer and the H2D, and I can't tell which ones came off this $200 printer or the $2,000 printer. And I think that's pretty incredible for a budget printer that can print quality-wise stack up to the bigger printer.
Yeah, and I think it's okay that you chose the A1 Mini, right? I kind of copped out with the high-end one with the X1 Carbon. So, I mean, what else do you have to say? If you use a $200 printer and the quality is as good or better than a $2,000 printer, like,
that's pretty incredible.
Do you have to say anything else?
It heats up so quickly that when I'm printing something like really small, like some little piece like this, I'll send this to the A1 Mini because it heats up so quickly versus the H2D. The build plate just is a little bit slower. On this will take a 10 to 20 minute print, adding 5 minutes for the whole thing to heat up. That percentage-wise is a big add of time. Well, and so I just go to the little printer so often for little prints.
Yeah. Also, if you check that do calibration at the beginning of print, a smaller printer calibrates faster because there's less points to probe. So, I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Also, that makes sense. I want to print this small 5-minute print, but it takes 25 minutes on a bigger machine.
Yeah.
Heating up, probing the bed, all these things. So
totally. Yeah. I do feel like I want them to. I wish they allowed you to connect more AMSs to it. It is limited to only one. And I don't know why they can't, like in firmware, allow using the full AMSs with it, or some way of attaching more to it would just be really cool.
I feel like that's Bambu's way of saying this. The A1 Mini, the A1 and the A1 Mini were like, they were tests and they are budget printers. We could allow you to use more if we wanted to, but if you want to use more, you have to spend more money. I feel like that's almost certainly what the reason is.
Yeah. Or, I don't know. I'm still optimistic that it's some sort of like hardware limitation to it beyond just the money-making reason. It could totally be the money-making reason. It could be they didn't power it enough. But then, I don't know.
Certainly, they certainly powered enough. There's two ports on it, right? You should at the very least be able to use two AMS lights.
Yeah.
At the very least. They
or
definitely
use an external power supply. Like,
yeah, they definitely plan for it. It's just, I don't know. I would love to be optimistic as well, but Bambu, they have reputation for not necessarily being the nicest, and they get away with it by making such absolutely incredible machines.
Yeah, they're so good. And they're so quiet. The other thing about this printer is it's so quiet. I would have it in this office while I'm recording voiceover while it's running on the other side of the room, 10, 15 feet away from me. Whoa. And you can't hear it in the audio. And so it's just like, that is incredible for a $200 printer. Like,
that is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is to say for something. All of my filament dryer box reviews that I do, my go-to sound test is, will I be in the room while the dryer box is drying? Because if it's so loud that I can't be in the same room without being disturbed, cut it, take it out. And for a printer, which it has moving parts and fans, you can sit in the same room and not be disturbed by it. I mean, that blows my mind.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's why A1 Mini is my budget pick.
Well, I'll give it to you because if you're going back to it every day, you may as well be able to say.
Yeah.
All right. I think that kind of does it for the high-end, mid-range, and budget printers. Guys, we want to know what printer you're using. Put it in the comments. What do you think your mid-range? What's your tier list? We want to know that as well. And if you're not, subscribe. We post every week, and make sure to like as well.
Yes, be sure to like and subscribe. And there will be a part 2 of this video. We're going to do expanding into more categories. This was sort of the first part. We wanted to do the sort of our top 3 list, and then we're going to go into a little bit more specialized categories after this in part 2. So be sure to stick around for that coming out next week.